Have you heard about the drama that's happening in Morocco right now? Well, that is what made me think, is Morocco safe? Should me and the boys and Musa move back there? I'm also thinking about, with the drama that's happening right now about the African Cup, how will I convince my family that it's okay for us to move back to Morocco? Hello, world. If you're new to my story, let me tell you who I am. My name is Shanay, and in 2016, I moved to Morocco to serve as a Peace Corps volunteer. This opportunity to leave America and move to Morocco was my opportunity to transform into a new person, to meet new parts of myself, to learn a different language. And not only did I learn to speak Arabic, I was able to meet new parts of myself, tap into my inner creativity, and really flourish. I met my husband. So I also got married in Morocco. Morocco holds a very sentimental place in my heart. And even as I was watching the African Cup, and the two teams that are playing are the teams that my life centers around: the Moroccan team and the Senegalese team. And of course, Morocco felt like home when I was living there. I lived there from 2016 to 2020. But Senegal, obviously, my husband is from there. My kids are half Senegalese. I'm rooting for the Senegalese team. I'll tell you more about the drama between the African Cup and why I question, is it safe for us to move back, in a second. Jumping back to me moving to Morocco. I was there for 2 years serving as a Peace Corps volunteer. After Peace Corps, I just knew I didn't want to come back to America. There was more for me to discover, more for me to explore, and more opportunities for me to get my hands on while I was in the country. Plus, I had just gotten married, so I wanted an opportunity for Musa and I to really bond and really have that special time together in an early stage of our marriage, because we met in 2017, but we actually didn't get married until 2019. And that's because I wanted to wait until after my Peace Corps service was over, because I'm like, I didn't come here to get married, sir. I came here to volunteer, to serve, to learn, and to grow. And throughout that process, love found us. But we got married, and I ended up getting a job in Marrakesh. So I ended up moving from a small city near Rabat into Marrakesh. And that's where Musa and I lived together. That was our first apartment together. That experience was amazing. So much fun. It was just time for us to bond. I moved back home, and then Musa got the visa to come to America with me. Musa's visa got approved to move to America in 2022. And I talk about that in this video. Once his visa got approved, he moved straight from Morocco to Los Angeles, where we then got pregnant maybe 6 months later with Bamba, and are now parents of 2 healthy baby boys. Now that we have our family and we have grown, I have had this desire to move back to Morocco. And that's because that's the place that I know. Morocco was home, and I learned to speak Moroccan Arabic. I lived with host families, and I really felt grounded there. So even besides me meeting Musa, Morocco was a place that I feel comfortable just going back by myself and spending time with my host families there. He does have his siblings in Morocco too, so we have really strong ties to Morocco. And when I think about safety in Morocco, during my experience as a Peace Corps volunteer, I felt safe. I felt safe with my host families. I felt completely safe within the umbrella of the Peace Corps because they covered everything. I felt safe even after leaving the Peace Corps and working in Marrakesh as just an expat. It's been about 5 years now, though, since I left Morocco. And I've only gone back to visit a couple times. before Musa got his visa to come here. And now I'm thinking, is it safe? Because the drama between the Moroccans and the Senegalese that's happening right now makes me a bit worried. I have a Senegalese husband who has family in Morocco still. I have two Senegalese children who could potentially grow in Morocco or spend a lot of their youth in Morocco. And it's important for me because I'm not just traveling there solo anymore. I have a family to think about, and I want to make sure that they're safe, there's opportunities for them, and they're not treated any type of way because they are half Senegalese. So let me talk a little bit about the drama that's going on. Okay, and I'm gonna keep it short because not everybody's interested in the World Cup and the African Cup, and I get that, but it's good. So the African Cup just happened, and the two final teams, Senegal and Morocco, right? And what happened was Senegal got a penalty, so Morocco got to kick. Morocco missed the kick, which was their opportunity to win the game, and the Senegalese, they ended up leaving the court before the kick even happened because they're like, okay, the ref is making bad calls. And it was just a lot of chaos. The people in the stands were mad. The players were mad. They were going back and forth with each other. It was a lot going on. And then when the kick finally happened, the player, Brahim, he ended up getting it blocked by the goalie, Mendy, the Senegalese goalie. So once it got blocked, then boom, they went into overtime because it was 0-0. In overtime, Senegal kicks the ball into the goal. They get a point. Morocco gets a chance to get back onto their side of the court. So they missed because it kept getting blocked by Mendy, and Senegal won. The drama is, well, is it fair that Senegal won? Because they ended up leaving the field, which is what they call it, the pitch. They left the field because they were just frustrated and upset by all the stuff that was happening throughout the game, the bad calls from the referees, the penalty kick that Morocco had gotten. Now people are like, oh, it was wrong for them to leave, and da da da. So there's now what I would consider like slight beef between the Moroccans and the Senegalese. And I will say that there is a large population of Senegalese people in Morocco. Morocco and Senegal have had probably a century's worth of friendship between the two countries. So they are very much intertwined, interconnected with one another outside of the African Cup and competing in this tournament. So that's what makes me wonder now, what is the relationship amongst the everyday people now that this is happening? People are upset because had Senegal not won the tournament, then it probably been like, oh yeah, they walked off the court. That was poor sportsmanship. They shouldn't have done it. But now they're trying to write to CAF and write to the officials of the league and say like, this isn't fair. They shouldn't be allowed to leave and come back and then win. And honestly, Senegal is a good team. They actually won in 2021. They won the African Cup. It come to play and win. And so, yes, go Senegal. But anyway, that is what happened. And even Musa said that because he was going to go to the game. And he was like, no, I'm not going to go because it's between Morocco and Senegal. And it could get ugly. He opted to stay at home to watch the match. And just that type of energy made me feel uncomfortable because being in Morocco before, I know that there is a very large Senegalese community there. And that is home to them. Morocco is home to them. Even though they are Senegalese, they do uphold their cultures, their values, their traditions, all of the things that they would have done had they lived in Senegal. But Morocco is home to a large majority of Senegalese people. Having two children that identify as half Senegalese just started to play in my mind, like, should we go to Senegal? Should we think about going somewhere else? And I'm open to suggestions on where you think we should live abroad with the boys. Completely open to suggestions on that, because that is our goal, international education. And that's exactly why I love homeschooling, because that allows us that freedom, that flexibility to live in other parts of the world while they still are able to learn naturally through their own interests. According to the State Department, Morocco is a safe country to visit. It's a safe place to live as well. For me, it was just very, very personal. If I were just visiting Morocco and I had no history, no background, I honestly wouldn't have thought anything of it. Because if you Google, is Morocco safe? It's going to pop up yes. But because I have very integrated relationships within the country, now I'm like, let me see here. And because Musa has family there, obviously when we decide to move back, I can connect with them to see what their experiences are like. Brother has two small children as well, some around the same age as our boys. He is someone who I will certainly connect with when we get onto that path of starting to transition to Morocco. In terms of having this conversation with my family and expressing to them why we want to live abroad for a few years during the boys' adolescent stages, this is a conversation that we have to have, because I do think that international experiences are very critical to physical, mental, emotional development for not just children, but for adults as well, which is why I decided to leave America and move to Morocco. I knew I needed to get outside of my bubble. I knew I needed a new experience, a new environment. And when you take children and you place them into a new country where they can live, not just travel to, but live for an extended period, it helps them with problem solving. They learn new languages. They learn to build character in different ways than in the comforts of their home country. Plugging them into a new environment will automatically help them to build increased independence and have a broader world view. There are a lot of benefits to us wanting to move back out of the country. When I think about our family moving, safety is one of the top considerations for places that we will move. I am now on my walking pad, getting my walk in, and the boys are doing who knows what. I gotta go check on them. BRB. What's happening? What's happening, Bamba? Why don't you go to sleep? It's nap time for everybody. It's nap time. I'm back. They in there just being boys, pretty much. If you are thinking about moving abroad with your family, where y'all going? Let me know. And I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, keep exploring. Bye.